Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to take a look at the Jet KVM, really cool little Kickstarter that came out before Christmas. Just got my hands on it, was just delivered. Haven't cracked the box yet. I figured we'd do that together. If that sounds good, stay tuned. Let's dive into it.
Tap in, power up, let's go, bringing tech to life, now you're in the know. Not just specs, it's how we live, from the tools we use to the tips we give. Live streams, deep dives, breaking it down, from set to screen, tech's all around. Apple gadgets, all things new, if it's worth your time, I'll test it for you. Life with Tech Nation is tech for real life. No hype, no fluff, just what feels right. Tips, tricks, insights to see, making tech work for you and me. Unbox, upgrade, let's explore. What's the future got in store? From daily hacks to what ifs too, I break it down so it works for you. Tech should help, not get in the way, so let's keep it smart, make the most of your day. No gatekeeping, just straight up fun. Press play, join in, we've only begun. Tune in, chat live, stay up to speed. One click away, that's all you need. Life with Tech Nation, it's tech made bright. So let's explore the world of tech tonight.
First, what is the Jet KVM, right? Well, let's take a look at the website before we break the box open. Jet KVM is an open source KVM. That's basically a remote, physical hardware remote connection over IP, basically. Let's take a look at their website here. They don't have too much on here other than documentation. We'll dive into that in a minute. But I guess let's jump over to their Kickstarter. This was and may still be a Kickstarter. I don't know. I placed my order back in like November. One of these was supposed to be a Christmas gift for a friend. It's now, mid-February, end of February, and just got my shipment. So let's look at the day campaign and key features. So according to them, Jet KVM is a fast open source KVM over IP solution for managing any computer, server, and workstation remotely. Handle boot failures, install new OSs, adjust BIOS settings, or simply control the computer without the need to be physical present. So we all know remote desktop software, right? But the drawback with remote desktop software is you don't have physical control over that machine. So this takes it, KVMs take it a step further. You're able to plug a device into the mouse, keyboard, and monitor IOs of that machine and connect to it remotely that way. You don't need the software on that machine to connect to it because you're using the software on another machine that's physically connected to it in order to. My thought also was to run a VPN on this so that it's always calling home and I could always get a connection to it. But I learned this week, looking at the documentation, they have something built in already. And we'll dive into that as well. Let's see. Key features: ultra low latency, high definition 1080-90 video at 60 hertz, Corey, hey, how's it going, buddy? I just got mine delivered yesterday, and my order was in like late November, I think. Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. So 60 frames a second with 30 to 60 milliseconds latency. Uses H.264 encoding, free optional remote access, remote management via Jet KVM Cloud using WebRTC. Yeah, I ordered a 3-pack, Corey. We'll see how it goes. I was excited to see it. It's a nice little compact. One was for a friend, one's for my home lab, and I figured another one to keep in my bag. So yeah, so you have the Ethernet port, an RJ11 extension port. So there's accessories that you could get with this. I think we'll look at that in a second. We'll come back to that. It's open source. You do have root access to everything. It is Linux, so you pretty much run what you want on it. So the extension ports, this is what I was getting at. It uses an RJ11 extension port on the back. So that extension port could connect to things like an ATX power control. So if you're using kind of like a PC that has an ATX power supply or server or something, you actually have the pinouts to connect directly to that device so that you could power cycle it or see what state it's in. You could also use that for DC power control. It looks like it does 12 volts to 20 volts. So again, you could control and power cycle those devices. And then there's a serial connection, customizing with the extension port. Yeah, Corey, that's what I thought. It's another tool. I have other little devices in my bag that I use for random stuff like this, but this does make it a lot cleaner, at least from what it looks like, right? We'll see. I haven't even cracked the box yet. Yeah, so a couple of videos. So I think it was like $70 each. Let's go look at the rewards. And then you had to add on, just FYI, Corey, I did not get any of the extensions. They told me that's coming in later in another package, so I only got the actual units. Yes, I have used the Pi KVM. I've used the Rocket. I've used a few of them. And they're good for what it is. I mean, this just looked a lot slicker. I mean, you know, at $60, $70, if it works as intended, it might just kill the Pi KVMs. I mean, by the time you get a case and an SD card and, you know, and build it out, you're kind of at that $100 mark anyway. So these extensions, yeah, they're all separate. So they look like they're about $10 each. Power serial, the extension board. Yeah, I haven't gotten any of those yet. Yeah, I got this 3-pack, so it was like $200, 207. Plus I added like one of everything. Yeah, Corey, if you're interested, I could definitely do a comparison later at some point, or at least, you know, give you my opinions on which is smoother and whatnot. Yeah, and then they have the documentation, so it looks like it was well documented. Quick start. I'll probably end up coming back to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to the other desk, unbox it, look at it, plug it in, get some power and an Ethernet cable to it, and then jump back over here and start going through it with you guys. So with that said, I'm going to go jump over to the other desk where I have everything, and we'll get jamming over there. Okay, hold tight, guys. Let's dive in. So we got our Jet KVMs here. These are the boxes. Control any computer remotely. Next generation open source IP KVM. It has that slick screen on one side. Looks pretty solid. So let's dive in. I'm going to put 2 of these on the side. and dive into unbox. I like cutting the sides. Hey Jared, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, I just have to, when I do these on one single live, I kind of have to, I have like a U-shaped desk in here, so I kind of bounce between the two desks. Okay, let's, oh wow, it is a lot smaller than I thought. Can you guys see that okay? That is actually a lot tiny. This picture makes it look a lot longer than what it actually is. Wow. That is kind of slick. Maybe we need a little more light. I don't know if it blow things out here. That is pretty tiny. Just for reference. I kind of like that. I like that a lot better now that I see this in person. It feels, it's a metal casing. This thing is solid. I am impressed. It's heavy. There's weight to it. I mean, it could feel about the weight of an iPhone. But again, it's compact, so it might feel heavier because it's compact. Yeah, for sure. It is, right? Look at that. Let's, yeah, I'm sure we can find the specs online, but that's pretty solid. So you got the Ethernet cable, you got that RJ11. There is some plastic on here to peel off. We'll go ahead and peel that. Yeah, that is pretty nice. That's impressive. Well, let's see what else is in the box. Getting started. Nope, I'm ripping the box, trying to get this little box open. It's that tight. Before we go in there, I see something on the bottom here. Access the web interface. So I guess it's a little instruction booklet. I'm sure we'll need that in a little bit. Down on the side, let's get into it. An RJ12, gotcha. Thanks, Jared. Is it a 6-pin? It looked like more, but I could be mistaken. I haven't gotten those accessories yet. But that makes a lot of sense. So it looks like we have a USB-C splitter here. So that makes a lot of sense. We got a small HDMI cable, or HDMI to HDMI mini. Is that what that cable is called? Right. And then a regular USB-A to USB-C cable. Right. So, you know, again, this looks pretty slick. Let's go ahead and plug it in. So we got HDMI on one side, like that. So I guess, is it just a single connection? Daniel Porras saying, do a giveaway to get one of them. That sounds appealing, but you're putting me on the spot. If these are really good, I may want to keep them. They're good tools to have. And like I said, one of them's a gift. You may have missed that. And shoot, November, December, January, February, you know, 3 or 4 months to get a hands on one. When did you guys put your orders in? Just out of curiosity. So I am going to get this thing power. So just for this test, I think I'm just going to do an HDMI out of an Apple TV over here until we get everything set up and going, and then I will jump to another computer. I just want to have something in this room close by that I could use as a test. So that being said, we got an Apple TV here. All right. So I just plugged power into it. I didn't see it turn on, which is interesting. I don't see an actual on button. So I'm just going to plug the Apple HDMI from the Apple TV into it. We got power that goes into one of the splitters. I'm assuming that's how it's going to go. And I have an Ethernet cable over here, which isn't that long, but okay, let's look this over again because I don't see the screen coming on just yet. Oh, there you go. I'm very dopey. So these splitters, on only one side of them, they're labeled power and USB. So I had it plugged into the wrong one. The opposite side has no labels on it whatsoever. So I didn't see that. So, okay. So plugged into the power side. And now we got a screen lighting up. And there we go. Yeah, Jared, thanks. I caught that after looking at them. One side only has a label. I guess you'll make that mistake once and not again. Yeah, I mean, the same thing with my other KVM. I just didn't see labels on them. Yeah, so I see the Jet KVM in here. I see a cloud saying 0 active, an IP address that this has, the MAC address. It shows that USB is disconnected and that HDMI is connected. So the screen is pretty nice. It's looking pretty nice there. Okay, with that said, I guess let's jump back over to the computer and look at the configuration settings and how all this comes together. Again, I'm really impressed with the build quality of this dice. So bear with me for a minute. I'm going to switch back over to the other computer again, and we will get jamming. Yeah, Corey, I still see you guys' comments coming in. It is a nice bright display and the resolution looks crisp. They definitely didn't cheap out on the display itself at all. You see what you need to see. It doesn't look like dot matrix. It looks like a little LCD screen. Pretty much exactly what it looks like on the website, which, I'm surprised. I always think those renders look better on websites than on the computer itself. All right, here we go, back at the desk. Awesome. Let's take a look at their instructions, right? So their quick start, we plugged all that in. Yeah, so the screen looks exactly like this, nice and clean. The black's pretty black. It's actually a watch display. Thanks for that, Jared. Didn't know that, but that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But it does seem kind of big for a watch display. If I'm actually really looking at it, I have my Apple Watch. It does look a decent size bigger, but I don't know, maybe Android has some. I have the Ultra Watch, so the screen's pretty big. Let's keep diving in here. The ports, we plugged everything in. Okay. Peripherals, networking, remote access, cloud dashboard. I guess I click new to Jet KVM, create a Jet KVM account. That's something I don't like. I don't like being forced to have to use Google. I don't know what to expect, so I'm gonna jump back to a full screen of me and put in my credentials and stuff for this. It's live, so okay, so I did that. It was pretty straightforward. Now it brings me to no devices found, manage a KVM. You don't have any devices with enabled KVM Cloud yet. So just out of curiosity, let's go to the IP that was on the front, and this is the IP that's in the front. Welcome, set up your KVM. Yeah, Joe Pedro, I was just doing that. I was trying to go through the list, their quick list. Yeah, I get that too. You don't have to use it exactly. I'm not too sure if I will. I like it proxying off my own stuff. I probably will just spin up their cloud proxy or just install a VPN on it and let it run that way. But let's keep going here. Again, I was just trying to go through their quick list, and that was the steps they had. Set up your KVM. Let's set up a password. So again, guys, I'm just gonna jump while I set a password and credentials here. Jet KVM, save, and jump back. Yeah, Jared, I hear you, for sure. That's what we're trying to do here. I mean, this is the kind of what to expect from unboxing it, not doing a whole lot of research on it. I know KVMs, I've used a lot of other ones, and that's the whole reason I wanted this, but I wanted to see what it looks like and give everyone a hands-on experience opening the box. So this is what we have here. It looks pretty smooth. So that is the screensaver from the Apple TV that is coming through right now. That being said, let me grab the remote. One second. The reason I thought of an Apple TV is because I could just play something. Now that I'm thinking about it, now it's like, copyright stuff. I don't know what I'll get away with. But I guess let's go into YouTube. No, Jared, I don't think the keyboard and mouse actually work on the Apple TV. But this is at my desk over here, so I figured it was easy to plug that in quickly and do a quick test with that, just to see. I just want to, I want to find something. All right, everybody knows Marcus Brown, whatever. I'm not going to push the audio, so we'll leave it up for a second or two. Skip commercial. Just so I could see what the frame rate is and how smooth the picture is coming in. And it looks pretty solid. Again, you know, from a picture standpoint, let's see the other options in here. So we have paste text, virtual media, mount an image, boot, okay. Wake on land, awesome. Virtual keyboard, let's see what it looks like. Looks decent, you know, you can get away with that. Control-Alt-Delete as its own button at the top. All very straightforward stuff. This is looking pretty good. There is a full screen option. Basically take it, like it says, your video goes full screen on your monitor. Yeah, it does. Look at that. Awesome. Paste from host. Yep, that's a kind of lot like TeamViewer. Let's take a look at the settings next. Let's hit check for updates. Let's see. Out of the box, there is an update. We'll do it later. Mouse, hide cursor, jiggle or simulate movement of the computer mouse, prevent sleep. That's kind of neat. That's kind of nice. So I guess every once in a while, it puts a jiggle in there. Modes, absolute or relative. I guess relative's coming soon. Configure display settings and EDID for optional compatibility. Stream quality, interesting. So it's defaulted to high right now. So what we're experiencing, it's high version. Adjust the EDID settings for this display. Yeah, so this supports WebRTC, that's the big thing. I mean, everybody's supporting them nowadays. I didn't like it too much in the early days. I didn't think there was that much security on it, but now everyone's keeping that in mind and building security around it. I'm going to go ahead and adopt this in a minute, but let's keep scrolling through the rest and see what else we're missing. Okay, yeah, I will. Thanks, Jet KVM. I will definitely do that update. Let's just keep going through the settings a little bit. So I'll do that even before I do the adopting. Yeah. Dev channel updates, auto updates, developer mode, troubleshooting mode. Okay, so with the suggestion from Jet KVM, we'll go ahead and do the update first, and we'll see how this process goes and how long it takes. So system is 0.2.2 and the app is 0.3.7. So update now. So it looks like the app's updating right away. It looks like it's going pretty quickly. I don't know the Jet KVM guy's name, Jared. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Jet KVM. Like I was saying earlier in the video, I'm very impressed with the hardware. It is definitely rock solid, and even the software at first glance looks pretty slick. So you guys know each other, that's good. Jet KVM, could I ask how far in the process of the shipping are you guys? We had a couple of people come in. I guess they're still waiting on their stuff as well. Are you like 50% in, or when do you guys predict to be caught up? If I had some more of our community looking to pick these up, what should we say the wait time is for a new order? What's interesting still is we're doing all these software updates, and I could still see that the video in the background is still playing. So it hasn't really dropped that stream, even with these updates so far, which is interesting. You know what we do it too here, guys, is we usually do these long form lives, and then we'll take these lives and cut them down into individual pieces, and then post those as actual videos as well. So if you just want to see the setup process, there's a setup process video. If you want to see the unboxing, there's an unboxing video, and we bring it like that. Thanks for that update, Jet. So February, March, refresh the page. Okay, thank you for that, Jet. Refreshing. Go back to check for updates and see. Okay, so I guess it updated. I guess maybe the system was the same one, because I remember saying 2.2 before, but I could be wrong. Okay. Was it basically just a bug fix, or was there any other settings that were added? There's a color theme in here. That's interesting. It matches your light or dark. Let's see what dark looks like. That's nice as well. Hardware, dim after. Could set a couple of minutes. Dimming this display. That's kind of nice. Turn off the display. Yeah, that's what it seemed like, Jared. You're right. Yeah, my comments are set to come up on the right-hand side. And since I'm looking on the right-hand side, I've been not hitting them so much. Cloud Connect's much more stable. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and do the Adopt Cloud. I already have an account because we just made one. Log in and connect. Device name. What do I want to call this one? Let's go with Phantom. Kind of have this running Superman universe theme for my networking stuff. Like Krypton, crypto. All right, so here we are in the cloud. App.Jet KVM. Let's click on cloud devices. Okay, so now we see the one device in there. Pretty solid. Connect to KVM. Yeah, so Jet KVM saying the update bring better dark mode, physical display, brightness settings, cloud connections, much more stable, ATX DC serial extension support, improved USB compatibility for the BIOSes. I guess that's a good question too, Jet. When should we expect the expansion devices? Will those start shipping and being delivered shortly as well? Or are you guys waiting on manufacturing or something on those? So hardware, power off, so you could save the settings, okay. Public key, perfect. I like this a lot. That's great, Jet. How do I plan to use what, Portis? Use the expansions? So, I mean, it's just good tools to have for when a situation comes, which is why I decided to kind of order one of each of them, right? If we jump back to the page, and we could see all the options. So there was an ATX control board extension. There's the DC power extension, so I ordered one of both. I ordered the serial connection. I think that was all, right? Yeah, there's just those three. So, you know, the ATX control board, could use that to control a PC machine or something. I'm more excited about this DC power extension. I have a lot more battery devices on set, and that might be very, very convenient. Again, you know, it's for me as using it as a tool remotely. So of course I have one for the house, for my lab here, that I could throw onto things that I can't remotely software-wise get to, but having something in the bag that I could deploy for that show, that commercial, and get to specific things that don't have a true operating system or that's locked down that I can't put my own software on. And that's where these kind of KVMs shine. I keep going back to saying I'm a fan so far. It is a lot more polished. I understand why it took a while to develop. I mean, going back to this, it's still running solid. Any of you guys have any more questions? Yeah, we're almost reaching the hour mark here, 50 minutes in. Jared, I think you were asking about doing a comparison. I will definitely do a comparison, but with what I see right here, this is definitely a lot less hassle than a Pi KVM or the Jet. What is that one called? I'm grabbing stuff off the shelf, right? I mean, I have like the TinyPilot. Also, I mean, same thing. It's a Raspberry Pi, but you know, look at the size of this. I mean, I think it's focusing on my head, but again, I'm gonna unplug this real quick. That's an example of pulling the plug. Now, disconnected. Looked like it really wasn't much latency on that. But let's go back to the overhead. So, like I was saying, this is a TinyPilot. Move out of the frame a little. You know, you look at the size of this versus the size of this guy. I mean, and it's no brainer. This is all plastic, and like, I would worry. This thing is solid and has a display. To me, it's kind of no brainer. This, you know, the TinyPilot, again, we were talking about the Pi KVM, the open source stuff. It's still cool, but you still end up running, you know, like $80 or something to get to this point with a case. The TinyPilot was, I think, $200-300 back when I got the first one years ago. Now I think it might be a little cheaper. But again, you know, and that's like the kit with the SD card and all the cables and stuff. But at $60, that's pretty solid. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I am seeing something I didn't see before. I'm gonna try to see if I can rub it away now that I'm looking at it in light. Because it looks so pristine and so nice, I could see on the very edge on the bottom where the seam is, like maybe when the screen was pushed in, the bottom has a little, like you could see the paint worn on the bottom. So I'm sure they'll work out those kinks, but I'm not even worried about that. This thing is, I'm very impressed, guys. Nice job. Let me know your you know what's wrong, Portis, do you? Huh? It ain't got no gas. No, there's no gas. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment. Are you guys planning to pick them up? I know at least 2 of you guys either have them or are already waiting on your orders. KVM guys, I think one of you guys said your name was Adam. Thank you for joining and jumping on. You know, feel free to reach out. I'm looking to love your product here, and we'll be suggesting it to our viewers. All right, guys, till next time,